بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
The next question. Assalamu alaikum. Wa alaikum assalam. What does a Sharia say about a father who had 3 daughters and 1 son and who made an oral will in front of his son and 1 daughter and died after a few days? Are we obliged to distribute property as what the father said in his oral will, or distribute it as our deen says, that daughter 1 part and son 2 parts share in father's property and will? Please guide. The question poses that if a father before dying makes a oral will in front of his 1 son and 1 daughter, he has 1 son and 3 daughters, and if he makes an oral will in front of 1 son and 1 daughter, and after he dies, should they distribute according to what the father said or what the Quran has said? The Quran is very clear cut, and Allah says in the Quran in Surah Nisa chapter number 4 verse number 11 and 12. There are various verses talking about inheritance, but the main important verses is from Surah Nisa chapter 4 verse number 11 and 12. Verse number 11 says, as for the inheritance of your children, the son, the male gets double the share of the female. If there are only females, 2 or more, they share in a 2/3. If only 1 female, she gets half after paying the legacies and debt. As far as your parents are concerned, if there are children, each parent gets 1/6. If there are no children, mother gets 1/3. If you have brothers and sisters, mother gets 1/6. All this is after the payment of legacies and debts, means all the liabilities and the debts is there. Verse number 12 says, in what your wife leaves for you, you get half if there are no children, and you get 1/4 if there are children, after paying of legacies and debts, all the liabilities. The verse continues, in what you leave for your wives, if you have no children, wife gets 1/4. If there are children, wife gets 1/8. After paying of legacies, the liabilities and the debts. And the verse continues. In short, these, and the verse says in the end, these are shares ordained by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You don't know who's closer to you, your parents or your children. So these are shares ordained by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Once these verses were revealed in the Quran, it is compulsory for every Muslim that he should the inheritance should be as per the verse of the Quran. There is a verse revealed earlier in Surah Ma'idah chapter 5 verse number 106 to verse number 108, that it says that before a person dies, he should mention his will in front of 2 witnesses. And that was compulsory, but that was before this verse was revealed. Once these verses were revealed, you have to follow the guidance of the Quran, and making a will is not compulsory. Previously, making inheritance was compulsory. Today, if you are living in a Muslim country where the Islamic Sharia is followed, or living in a non-Muslim country like India where the Muslim personal law is followed and the Sharia has to be followed, then it is not compulsory to make a will. But if you are living in a non-Muslim country like America or a Western country like Canada, UK, where they don't follow the Sharia, then making a will is very important, and the will should be as per the Quranic guidelines. What I mentioned in Surah Nisa chapter 4 verse 11 and 12, also verse number 176. You cannot write your own will. The maximum you are allowed to will as per the Sharia is 1/3. 1/3 of your share you can will to those people who are not your inheritors. For example, you may have a friend who has helped you a lot. You can give anything from 0 to 1/3 to him, but you can't give more than 1/3. You want to do charity, you want to help the poor people. So 1/3 is the maximum a person can will, or can will 1/6, can will less than that, but he cannot will more than 1/3. The balance 2/3 minimum should go to the inheritors as mentioned in the Quran. Or if you don't will anything extra, everything goes as per what is mentioned in the Quran. Now coming to your question, if a father has orally given a will and said to his 1 son and 1 daughter, though he has 1 son and 3 daughters, orally, after he dies, what should be done? You should follow as the Quran says, because the son and all 3 daughters are the inheritors. The father cannot say, I love one daughter more, she'll get more share than the second daughter because she is not good to me. Irrespective, as long as they are Muslims, even if they ill-treat the father, they will get the same share as has been ordained by Allah in the Quran. Whether he says orally or whether, even if he says orally, which is not matching the Quran, it should be changed. Even if he gives in writing. In a Muslim country, if he gives in writing that the son and daughter should get equal, because my daughter was not, because my son wasn't obedient, it's not possible. He cannot say, give my one daughter double share and my other daughter half the share, not possible. Even if he gives in writing, if it's a Muslim country where the Sharia law is followed, or in India where the Sharia law is followed, that doesn't carry any weight. So whether he said orally to one of the sons and one of the daughter, or he gave in writing, as per the Islamic Sharia, the share should be son get double than daughter. If after giving the shares of the parents, if there are any, or wife if there are any, whatever is remaining part will go between the children. So if there is one son and 3 daughters, he should make 5 parts. After giving all the debts, liability, after giving to the parents if there are any, after giving to the wife if there are any, he makes 5 share. From this 5 share, 1 share goes to each daughter, 3 daughters, and 2 shares goes to the son. In short, from whatever is pending, 20% goes to each of the 3 daughters and the son gets 40%. Irrespective of what the father said orally or what they gave in writing, as far as the children are concerned, you have to follow Allah's guidance and stick to it as long as they are Muslims. Even if they ill-treat the parent, whatever they do, the shares had been ordained by Allah and you have to follow it. And if he said something else or wrote something else which is not matching with the Quran and Sunnah, we should follow as per the guidance given in the Quran and Sunnah. Hope that answers the question.